nervous, bouncy, a little bit wobbly. No, it's not what you're thinking I'm talking about. It's Suzuki's Jimny. It is, shall we say, an interesting vehicle to drive on road. Little 1300 16 valve engine puts out 86 brake horsepower, 110 newton meters of torque. 0 to 60, should you be so inclined, is just over 14 seconds. It takes even longer if you decide to go for the automatic. The Jimny as is hasn't really changed since 1998, and in many ways it hasn't changed for quite a few years prior to that. It is, as you can hear, noisy when you push on with it. It's extremely light to drive, which is one of the reasons why it tends to be so nervous. And the slightly bouncy ride is due to the suspension, but it's the suspension that makes the Jimny nervous on-road that makes it so good off-road. They claim you'll get mid to high 30s to the gallon. Well, past experience has taught me that if you can get mid-30s, you're doing quite well. One of the reasons being you will have to work the engine and the 5-speed gearbox if you want to really get it to do anything. They are lively, but you have to push them to get them to be lively. A little bit like some of Suzuki's other vehicles. It's all there, but you've got to go and find it. It's extremely light to drive. Cornering wise, because it sits up, it tends to, the body rolls over on corners. It rolls over to a degree the vehicle isn't going to let go, but you feel like it's going to let go. Now, as I've said, whilst the Jimny might have certain shortcomings on road, it's off road where this little motor absolutely comes alive. Just enough power, just enough torque. For the most, you'll leave it in high ratio because it's so light. The clearances are excellent. Approach, departure, ramp over, absolutely tremendous. This little vehicle literally will go wherever you want it. The only thing that limits where the Jimny will go is you. You have got to be confident enough in the fact that this little Suzuki off-roader will literally off-road way beyond what you think it can do. It will go anywhere. Literally anywhere. It will happily hop over the bumps, leap the ditches, splash through the puddles, you name it, it will do it, and it will just keep on doing it. To a degree, it will very quickly prove itself as to why it is regarded as one of the best 4x4s on the market. They literally are absolutely fantastic off-road. I've described them more than once as a quad with a roof. They are. It is nigh on impossible to get one of these little things stuck. We're driving around on these surfaces on road tyres, and it makes absolutely no difference whatsoever to it. These little vehicles just do what you want them to do when you want them to do it. They are absolutely fantastic little motors. If you've never been off-roading or never thought about buying a 4x4, the Jimny is the way to go, because all of a sudden you will discover what a capable machine they are and what a highly respected machine they are when it comes to going off-road and tackling some extremely inhospitable surfaces. Equally, here we are on one of the Huntroid farms. To get around from field to field, absolutely no problem to it. Absolutely no problem. And with the back seats down, be able to get a small load in. Hello and welcome to another edition of Motoring Northwest with me, Mark Stone, Ken the Cam, here on the Huntroid estate with the 2014 spec Suzuki Jimny. Suzuki's little Jimny seems to have been with us for years, and to a degree it has. The first one appeared in 1968. It's gone through a whole variety of, shall we say, guises and upgrades, but it inherently has also never changed. The model we have here, the 2014 spec, is virtually unchanged from its first introduction in 1998. The only difference with the 2014 spec is they've upgraded the front, they've given it a bit of a facelift, and they've improved the interior. The other thing we've also got is a power bulge, an engine bulge, a bonnet bulge. Reason being, in mainland Europe, you can get them with a 1.9 diesel in them. Over here in Blighty though, you can either get a 1.3 16 valve petrol engine or a 1.3 16 valve petrol engine. Suzuki very kindly eliminating that age-old problem of deciding what engine you might want beneath the bonnet of your Suzuki Jimny. Now, bear in mind it is Jimny, J-I-M-N-Y. It isn't a spelling mistake on behalf of the Japanese, that's what it says, Jimny. Now, great thing about these, they are incredibly traditional. Longitudinal mounted engine, ladder chassis, wheel at each extremity, fantastic ride height. They will go anywhere. They ain't all that good on road, I'll be quite honest. They bounce about, they jiggle. There's the famous shimmy that this has got, but it's been reduced, which means round about 40-45 the steering wheel starts wobbling a little bit. Don't worry about it, just accelerate through it or lift off. But they have always had this shimmy about the 40-45 mile per hour mark. Apart from that, they are old-fashioned to drive, but it's their old-fashioned characteristics on road that make them so good off-road. Inherently, you've got two boxes. A small one up the front for the engine and the transmission, bigger one at the back for the occupants. Now, the one thing you have to bear in mind with the Jimny is you can carry 4 occupants and a little bit of luggage, or 2 occupants and a passable amount of luggage. So basically, open the rear door and that's it, luggage space wise. But they're so simple to drop. Most people, as I used to do when I actually owned one of these, drop the back seats and regard them as a 2-seater. In that respect, they work extremely well. And thank you very much, Suzuki. It's one of my big gripes and pet hates. A 4x4 with a full spy spare wheel hung on the back door, not stuck underneath or it gets filthy and is hard to get at. A proper location for a 4-wheel drive's spare tyre, full size, hung on the back door, exactly where it should be. Inside the Jimny, it is, shall we say, compact. You have got to be on good terms with your passengers because you at times will get relatively intimate with them. However, the new interior, leather seats, much improved, embroidered with the word Jimny, perchance you've forgotten what it is you're driving. Hard surfaces. Benefit of these is most people who tend to buy these will buy them for a working based reason, which means they're extremely easy to keep clean. Simple dashboard, just 2 clocks, 2 main clocks and 2 small gauges. Everything else is located down the centre. Transfer box, 3 buttons. 2-wheel drive, which you'll be in most of the time, which sends the power to the rear wheels. Centre button, high ratio 4-wheel drive, which you can engage at any speed up to 62. The interesting thing will be, will you have got to 62 by the time you want to do it? And finally, 4-wheel drive low, where you must come to a halt. Little leather steering wheel. Interesting thing with Suzuki, they claim they're going to put in the right way around, but indicator stalk on the right, wipers to the left, which means for the first few days, when you're turning right, you'll deploy the wipers instead. But it's something you will get used to. The interior it's well made, it's designed to last. If you look in any Jimny, the interiors are still in good condition. They may be dirty, but wipe them down and they're a long, livid interior. They live up to the rest of the Jimny. They are an absolutely cracking little motor. I could probably come up with enough reasons to say why you shouldn't buy one, why you should go for one of the alternatives. But after you've owned and driven a Jimny for any length of time, you very, very quickly realise why they are as popular as they are, why they are as sought after as they are second hand, and from basic trim to fully modified off-road, they are absolutely fantastic. From this edition of Motoring Northwest, down here at the Untried Estate with the latest specification Suzuki Jimny, until next time, safe motoring.